Joys and the woes of fame in the family.
Fame in the Family. Bank holiday Monday at 8 on ITV.
Highlights from today's stunning Grand Prix are here on the starting grid in 15 minutes.
Asian doctors' fury over Tories' call for extra English lessons. Europe's tallest building ablaze with people trapped inside. And given up by ice, the wartime airmen returned to the ground.
From ITN, the ITV Weekend News with Andrew Harvey.
Good evening. Asian doctors have reacted furiously to Tory claims that some can't speak English well enough to do their jobs. The Shadow Health spokesman Liam Fox says doctors from overseas should have language tests to protect patients, but they say the claims are an insult. John Ray reports.
Dr. Mohammed Rahman was born and trained in Pakistan, but for more than 30 years he's been a GP in Britain. He claims the Tories' plan smacks of racism.
Extremely offensive, extremely undermining and extremely hurtful.
Around a quarter of NHS doctors are from abroad. More are being recruited to overcome acute staff shortages. The Conservatives say too many speak inadequate English, but deny they're encouraging prejudice.
I'm not going to apologise for putting patient safety first, nor am I going to be forced into a position of not discussing the issue because some people would regard it wrongly as being an issue of race.
The Tory announcement came as NHS doctors from India held their annual meeting. Many found the prospect of being asked to sit English tests an insult.
I can't remember one single occasion when I haven't got through to my patients. No problem at all.
Foreign doctors are set language exams, though not if they're from the European Union. The Tories say they should all be forced to take tests. The tests should be tougher, and any failures sent to remedial classes. Labour dismissed all that as a headline-grabbing gimmick. New annual assessments, ministers argue, will weed out doctors with weak English. The Tories, they say, have simply cast a slur on thousands of hard-working NHS staff. John Ray, ITN, Westminster.
A desperate rescue mission is taking place tonight at the top of Europe's tallest building. Moscow's main television tower is on fire and at least 4 people are trapped inside one of its lifts. Rescuers are afraid the structure, which is more than 1,700 feet tall, is about to collapse. David Harrison has the latest.
Smoke billowing half a kilometre into the sky. This is the scene in Moscow tonight as firefighters decide how to tackle the blaze that's left at least 4 people trapped. A female lift operator and 3 firefighters are thought to be missing, with smoke and flames engulfing floor after floor of the Ostankino television tower. It's understood they're stranded halfway up the tower, that's more than twice the size of Canary Wharf. At lunchtime today, firefighters were confronted with a challenge like no other. Smoke could be seen escaping from the tower above the Seventh Heaven restaurant. As diners and TV workers were evacuated, fire experts took to the air to assess the situation. Soon, thick smoke was billowing from the upper parts of the tower. The fire was clearly spreading. Tonight, an area of 700 metres around the tower has been cleared because of the risk of collapse. As yet, there's been no contact with the 4 who it's feared are still trapped inside. David Harrison, ITN.
The government is giving £80 million to boost nuclear safety in the former Soviet Union. Most will be used to decommission old missiles, but some could be spent on nuclear submarines in the wake of the Kursk disaster. Roland Burke explains.
Russia's once mighty military arsenal quietly rusts. In naval dockyards and military bases across the country, old submarines and missiles lie neglected, the waste from a nuclear war that never came. The fear is each could be a potential Chernobyl.
Ultimately, there's a real danger that the nuclear waste and the decaying vessels and the decaying casks could become into the environment. And that, of course, would not just affect Russia. And nuclear hazards do not stop when they get to an international boundary. It could affect Europe, it could affect Britain.
The fate of the Kursk submarine concentrated the minds of the international community. As well as decommissioning missiles, some of Britain's £80 million may go towards making its reactor safe if it is raised. But campaigners say much more money is needed to tackle the wider nuclear problem.
The Russians have no idea what they've got, where it is, or what state it's in. So the starting point is a proper inventory. It's almost like a bookkeeping exercise. Then you can start thinking what you do with it.
The government says this must be the start of an international effort to ensure Russia's nuclear past doesn't threaten the world's future. Roland Burke, ITN.
Talks have begun to free the 11 British soldiers held in Sierra Leone. The rebel group who captured them are demanding food, medicine and the release of one of their leaders from prison. Defence chiefs say the soldiers from the Royal Irish Regiment are being well treated. Corfu's declared a state of emergency as a series of wildfires sweep across the Greek island. Flames have ravaged Corfu's central region. Several villages have been evacuated. On the mainland, 12 people have died in Greece's worst summer of fires for decades. Police are hunting the killer of a teenage girl whose body was found in bushes near the A5 in Staffordshire. 17-year-old Heather Tell disappeared on Friday night on the way to meet a friend. Neighbours said she was a really kind girl who dreamt of being a dancer. Here's Bernard Smith.
Distraught school friends of Heather Tell laid flowers today at the edge of the scrubland where her body was discovered. The 17-year-old performing arts student was due to meet a girlfriend on Friday evening. She never made it.
She was always bright and happy and forever talking about her dancing and about her beautiful hair. And she was really happy and nice.
Heather's body was found in undergrowth yesterday morning by a 17-year-old friend. He was in a search party organised by the teenager's family after Heather was reported missing. Today, Staffordshire police were trying to establish the murdered girl's final movements before she was attacked in Kettlebrook Linear Park on the edge of Tamworth.
Tonight, more than 48 hours after Heather was last seen alive, and detectives are still searching the murder scene for clues. Post-mortem revealed that the 17-year-old student had been suffocated, although police say it's too early to tell if Heather also suffered a sexual assault. Bernard Smith, ITN, Staffordshire.
Football, Celtic turned the tables on rivals Rangers today, trouncing them 6-2. New signing Chris Sutton and Swede Henrik Larsson both scored twice in a devastating display. Matthew Rumsey watched the action.
The first Old Firm derby for Celtic's new manager Martin O'Neill, and if he'd been worried, he needn't have been. Less than a minute on the clock and Celtic were ahead. £6 million new signing Chris Sutton, the scorer. Amidst the celebrations came a second for Celtic, this time from Stilian Petrov. Paul Lambert claimed a third before Rangers managed to secure a lifeline, a goal from Claudio Reyna. In the second half, Celtic's domination continued and Henrik Larsson delighted the home crowd with some great skills. Rangers got another from the penalty spot, but hopes of a revival were short-lived. Bobby Petter's free kick was met by Larsson for Celtic's fifth. Rangers had Barry Ferguson sent off for a second bookable offence, but it was Chris Sutton that finished the game as he began it with another goal. Celtic 6, Rangers 2, the final score. Matthew Rumsey, ITN Sport.
Motor racing, there was a nail-biting finish in today's Belgian Grand Prix. ITV is showing full highlights of the race after this programme, so if you don't want to know the result, look away now. Four Second World War airmen have finally been laid to rest in Iceland, nearly 60 years after their plane crashed into a glacier. The remains were found this week after being entombed since 1941. Today, the men's relatives and RAF chiefs gathered at a military base to pay a poignant tribute. Here's Guy Smith.
The missing flight crew of 98 Squadron were buried with full military honours, in memory of their ultimate sacrifice. This marking the end of a mystery that's lasted almost 60 years.
It's nice to know that he's laid to rest at last, after 59 years.
The wreckage of the RAF bomber and bodies of the four young men were recently discovered entombed in ice, here in the wilderness near the Arctic Circle. Yes. Almost perfectly preserved, these personal possessions are a poignant reminder of 3 British men and a New Zealander killed when their plane crashed in northern Iceland during World War II. Today, a message was sent by one of the men's childhood sweethearts. Relatives were there also to say goodbye to their loved ones. And as a mark of respect, an RAF Nimrod flew over the Icelandic capital, Reykjavik, which is now their final resting place. Guy Smith, ITN.
That's it from the ITV Weekend News team. From everyone here, good night.
Good evening. It's been a mixture of sunshine and showers today. Most of the showers, though, have been in the west. A bit of a change for tomorrow. Pressure actually builds to the west, and to the east we still see an area of low pressure, and that means more showers across the eastern counties of England as well as Scotland. But in the west it's going to turn out drier with some sunny spells. For this evening and overnight, more showers, particularly across northern counties of England and along western fringes, turning misty elsewhere as the cloud breaks up, and temperatures as low as 6 in some rural parts of Scotland, so a rather cool night to come. Tomorrow morning, starting on a rather misty note in most places with some fog patches. Again, we could see some showers, particularly across western areas, but during the day, these showers slowly dying out, but they are likely to develop across eastern areas of England as well as Scotland. Now, they can actually turn out to be rather heavy with the odd rumble of thunder. Some fine and also dry weather in the west, though, across western parts of Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales and the southwest, and here it's going to feel warm. In fact, warm almost everywhere with just a light breeze and temperatures at the very best around 21 Celsius. That's 70 degrees Fahrenheit.
Power Gen. Power, whatever the weather.
Next week, Pauline Quirk and Warren Clark join us fresh from getting stuck in on the farm. Thursday, actress Imogen Stubbs tells us about her new ITV drama. Fridays are Entertainment Today. We kick off this brand new show with Hollywood great Clint Eastwood. Plus, Billie Piper performs her new single live, GMTV.
Granada weather.
There was a lot of cloud on this afternoon's satellite picture, cloud which was producing some heavy showers, and in a nutshell I think tomorrow is going to be very similar. Now most of those showers will die away overnight, just the odd one persisting along the coast and maybe over the Pennines, but mostly fine during tonight, and the lowest temperature around 9 degrees Celsius with light winds. Now tomorrow we're going to see some sunny spells, rather like today, but showers will develop, and again some of those will be heavy and prolonged, possibly with a rumble or two of thunder. Top temperatures will be similar to today's values at around 19 Celsius in a light to moderate westerly wind. On Tuesday it's sunshine and showers again, fewer showers hopefully and more sunshine.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update on 09068 559977.
Botulism.
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 Salmonella.
You know.
To be a contestant on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, call 0900 244 4444. The new series starts soon on ITV.
Neil! Homebase are hammering half price off this laminate flooring.
Come look at this.
Why don't I jump aboard and keep you company, eh? You care for a ride, then?
Not really, thank you.
I see you like the really rich.
I like Kenko really rich, yes. It's not only rich, it has depth and superb taste. Ciao.
Fair dues. I'll catch you next time. Lovely evening, ladies.
Kenko. Real coffee taste in an instant.
I'm no spring chicken, but Solpadeine lets me forget that, because after the game, it helps me to get rid of my aches and pains.
Splitting headache on your birthday? Forget it. That's exactly what it helped me do.
Which could explain why 90% of Solpadeine users stay with it and swear by it.
Solpadeine. Believe me, it makes a difference.
Why do you think Persil's Performance Tablets are such a great way to wash?
Well, they don't just clean brilliantly.
Right.
They leave clothes soft. They freshen.
Yeah.
And they do wonders for your love life.
Really?
Only kidding.
Persil Performance Tablets. Clean, soft and fresh.
I was amazed that it comes in such a tiny box. Pledge Dust and Go, the pieces go together as easy as pie. It's brilliant. I always associate Pledge with excellent cleaning. It's like a magnet. It attracts the dust. It retains hairs and dust incredibly. And Dust and Go is marvellous. You're picking up dust but throwing it away rather than moving it around the house.
Pledge Dust and Go cleaning system. It's goodbye to dust and hair for good.
And I obviously wouldn't have to do any more cleaning because Katie would do it for me.
Alright.
Wow.
And that one's mine, that one's yours. Yeah.
Why?
Well, I peeled all the potatoes, I chipped them, you know, fried them, and nearly burnt myself.
Why?
It's all right, there's plenty there for you. That chip pan, it's scrubbed, you wouldn't know I'd used it.
What chip pan?
What chip?
McCain home fries, the oven chip that tastes like a fried chip.
Beautifully conditioned hair from a permanent hair colour. I'd never have believed it. Garnier Natea, a true innovation. The first nourishing hair colour mask that gives fabulously rich permanent colour and amazing grey coverage. Garnier Natea with fruit oil concentrate nourishes as it colours, giving you richly coloured and superbly conditioned hair. Natea, formulated and controlled by Laboratoire Garnier.
Uncle George sent us a recipe for an organic loaf. It's really good for you. It's made with organic flour, grown on organic farms, by an organic farmer, and so it gives you organically formulated Krypton power.
Laura Warburton and Son, bakers born and bred.
That bloke that plays Lily Savage is sick. He's in need of some serious healing. And he's looking to get it.
I've spent an hour trying to find the toilet.
Up the Orient. Paul O'Grady's Orient. Bank holiday at 10.
Tomorrow afternoon, live snooker, queuing off from 1:30. Now, rerun of today's nail-biting Grand Prix.